ఓకే, ఈరోజు టేబుల్స్ చూద్దాము. టేబుల్స్ గురించి చెప్తా. సో ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయా? లైక్ లాస్ట్ టైం చెప్పాను కదా, యూజర్స్, రోల్స్.
లేదన్న యూజర్స్ క్రియేట్ చేసాము, గ్రూప్ కూడా క్రియేట్ చేసి రోల్స్ అసైన్ చేసాం నిన్న.
ఓకే, యా ఫైన్. యా టూల్ గురించి కొంచెం తెలిస్తే చాలు. యా టేబుల్స్ కదా. సో మీకు సర్వీస్ నౌలో ఏ అప్లికేషన్ అన్నా, లైక్ ఏ మాడ్యూల్ అన్నా ప్రతిదీ టేబుల్స్ లోనే ఉంటుంది. లైక్ ఇన్సిడెంట్ కానీ, యూజర్ కూడా ఒక టేబులే, గ్రూప్ ఒక టేబులే, రోల్స్ అనేది ఒక టేబులే. సో టేబుల్స్ చూద్దాము. టేబుల్స్ అని క్లిక్ చేస్తే మీకు సిస్టమ్ డెఫినేషన్ అనమాట. టేబుల్స్ లోకి వెళ్తే, సో ఇఫ్ యూ గో ఇన్ టు టేబుల్స్, సో యుల్ హ్యావ్ okay, so you'll have, these are like all out of the box tables. So same thing, like itla unte idi service now create chesina tables, u underscore unte manam create chesina tables.
Okay,
ప్రస్తుతం ఏం లేవు, మళ్ళీ చూద్దాం. ఓకే, u underscore కొన్ని ఉన్నాయి. Hello?
yeah, this is Santosh.
Hey Santosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we just started the meeting. Can you see my screen? Did you join the meeting?
Yeah.
The meet with the meeting ID.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so go to meeting. I'll tell you that. I think I've shared that in WhatsApp. Meeting ID.
And go to meeting?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Type gotomeeting.com. I'll tell you the meeting ID.
Okay, sure. Okay. Yeah.
727
727
180
90
773.
Okay.
Let me know like when you see my screen. Okay.
Yeah, I can see.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Right. So today we'll talk about the tables in ServiceNow. Okay. So as I said you on that day, so every module in ServiceNow is like tables. So on that day we have discussed about sorry.
Like, can I cut the call here?
Yeah, because I can see. Yeah. Okay. Santosh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I still hear the resound.
Like we can, instead of phone call, we can just doing this go-to meeting. We can even hear the audio.
Okay.
Uh,
No, try to dial in this number which I have
Okay.
sent you in WhatsApp.
Okay.
Dial in with this number.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So on that day we talked about like users, groups, and roles, right? So everything like even the user is like a table, group is a table. Okay. So if you go into tables, like in the tables module, try to search tables. So I'll go into tables, right? So you can create your own table, and most of this are like out of the box tables like users and all the users, groups and roles, and there are some more other tables, so which are like ServiceNow created those tables. So if you want to go into like users table, right? So just search for users. Okay, user, sys user. So this is like ServiceNow defined, like you go into, okay. So this is like the sys user table. So all the users where you created, so they are all stored in this table. So there is a way to go into the list of records. So there is a shortcut. So either you can go to user and then click here to go to this list, or there's another way you can do is click. You have to put the table name dot list. So sys underscore. So this is the table name, sys underscore user dot list list. That's it. You don't have to enter. So even if you are somewhere here, right? If you want to go to any list of records, if you know the table name, like sys underscore user dot list, you don't have to put enter. As soon as you put list, it will go into that list. So no matter which table, you will go into that table. So that's sysuser dot list. And if you want to go like onto a new form, right? So if you want to go into this form, so instead of every time what you will do is you go to user, you click the users, and then you go into new, right? So the shortcut is you do the same, put table name sys user dot do, do. So it will take you to the new user form. So this is like dot do will take you to the form, dot list will take you to the list view. So as I said, this is your list view. This is your list view. So if you know the table name, you can directly go to that list view or to the new form, like that form. So now we'll try to create some tables. Okay. So this is also same thing like how you created a user and everything. But here, when you give a table name, like let's say I'll create a test table, okay? And then it will only take automatically create the table name with u underscore test table. So you don't have to even put the name of the table. So all you have to define is the table name. Let's say service now table. If I put like that, so it will give u underscore service now underscore table. So this is how you create the table. And extends table is, so you guys know the concept of inheritance, anyone?
Yeah. Inheriting the properties of the parent.
Right, yeah. Nikhil, are you there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's just the same thing. So you're creating a table, and then if you want to get the fields and columns of that table, so you extend that table. So for service now, the like in Java, I don't know if you remember in Java, what is the main class? I forgot the main class. So string is like, I don't know. Okay, so in service now, task table is like the parent of all tables. So whichever table it is, so it automatically extends task. It doesn't automatically extend task, but task table has like all the common fields like created by, so these are mostly some common fields, so every table needs to have that. So you can extend that table. So we'll go to the task table first. So you can extend any table. You can extend the task table. If you click task, it will give task relationship. You can even extend incident table. Okay, 1 second. I think they have put some properties on there so that you can't extend it. Okay. So some tables you can't extend, so they'll put some condition on there saying that you can't extend this table. So this table extends task. You can extend any table you want. So if you want to create any table, there are a few tables which you can't extend. I'll tell you why and why you can't extend those tables. But most of the time, whenever you create a table, if you want to get some, so I'll create a table which extends task, and I'll create a table which doesn't extend task. So I'll show you like what task table, what it has. So it has like very generic fields like created by. So active is like, any record which is active or not. So this is like one generic field. Then approval set assigned to assignment groups. So these are all like very common variables, like you need it in every table. So task has all those variables. So if you want to have all this like close by, who close, so instead of creating your own variables in your table, so if you extend this, you will get all these properties, all these fields as well. So right now we'll extend task. So if you so as soon as you see, right now this doesn't have any columns. As soon as you extend the table and if you save it, you'll get. Okay. So as soon as I saved it, so it extends this table what you created, it has extended task, and now you got like 67 variables for your created table. So that's how, like, when you extend a table, you'll get all the properties and all the fields. So if you want to create your custom fields, you go in there, you click new, and then so every field you create, there is a type for that field. So if you want to create an integer type, you can put here. I don't know why I'm not able to. So type, you have like string. So you can see, like, if you want to see like the different types, what it has. So if you don't know like what type ServiceNow has, so you just click this search. So it will open a new pop-up. It will give you all types. So ServiceNow has like 42 types. So this is like true or false data type. This is like choice. So you can practice like with all these choice. Right now I'll show you like string and integer. So if you want to search, and do a search and do a string. So you can have like type is string, and then you define your column label. Label is like the label name of that field. So I'll say field 1, and then column name also you can define like, no, sorry, gives you the automatic, or else you can change whatever you want. Yeah. I don't know why it's not doing U_, someone changed some property, I guess. So it's better to define like U_, so that you will know, like, it's a user created field. So the length of that field, maximum length, like, the string, how much you want. So for now, I will give you 4,000. So these are like the field, what do you want it? So is it like only read-only field, mandatory field? So I'll tell you what display is. So right now you can, so active in the sense the field is active. You can even deactivate the field. Instead of deleting, you can deactivate your field. So if you click read-only, it will be only read-only field. So if you don't want to change the value in that field, you click read-only. If you need that field required, you click mandatory. Right now I'll just create this. And if you create submit. So now you have created a field. You can just search for that field 1. So now you created a field with maximum length. It doesn't have any difference. You can even defer a field. I'll tell you what this is later. But now we'll see like how this field is created, okay? So as I said, you can go to table name dot do. You will see the form. So copy the table name. Do control V dot do. Since we extended the task table, you get all these fields. So these are all like task fields, but you don't have the what do you call, the field 1. So it's in the table, but it is not displaying. So now this is like form configuration. So I'll tell you within 10 or 15 minutes how to do form configuration and everything. But if you want to see all the fields, whatever created, you can go back to your table. And then search for your table name. What did I create? Service now. Okay, so it's not able. I don't know why it's not searching it. Okay, so this is the table. So I extended the task. So I'll create one table which doesn't extend task, and we'll configure that. So this is form in any table, like so this is and with couple of fields. So this is form view. So we'll create a form right now. So if a new form like an employee form saying that employee first, create an employee form like a basic registration form. Okay, so for that we create a table. So you can go to your tables and then click new, and then this table will be employee registration. So now we will not extend any, even if you say, I think, to 5 fields like which are like very generic fields. Common. So now a table is created. You can go to that table. So whenever you create a table, right, so automatically a role is also created to that table. So only people who has this role can see this form or table or everything. I'll show you where the role is. So this is the role. So whoever is having this role can see, will get access to an admin. But for apart from admin role, so anyone who wants to see this employee have to have this role. So whenever you create a new table, automatically a user role is created, and then people whoever having this role can only see this table or users to see your form. Like if you want only HR people like a form, so you give. What you do is for those all HR groups, so you will create a group and then you will put all your HR users in that group, and for that group you will assign this role. So only admin can only see this employee registration form because that right. So if any other users, so this is how you other users to getting into any application or something. So admin can do all this. So if they want to see that, so this is your employee registration. Right now we didn't configure, so it is, but you can restrict without admin, they can't see this form anything because only when you give access to him by that role, then only they now. So we just created a table. It doesn't have like any thing you would see any. So now if you want to create like new field, a form of like this, any student has. So this is basically a form configuration. Table creation is also easy. personalized forms and fields. I'll tell you what update sets is. So now we'll try to create a form. So this is a basic plain form. We don't have anything. So as I said, if you right click on this, so you will have configure. So this is your form which doesn't have any field. If you right click on this, it will tell you configure. So form layout. This is like very important. So anytime if someone asks to configure a form, like, move a field here and there, we'll see your incident. Okay, so now so this is an empty form. It doesn't have any fields or anything. We will try to create a form like this. So even it has like configure form layout. So we'll cover all this one. So first we'll do like form layout. So what it does is it designs your form. Like, if you want to create any new field or, move this field over here, so you can do with that configure form layout. So now we'll go into configure form layout. It will take you to a slush bucket, as I said. So these are the available fields or columns what you have in your table. So now if you want to create a new thing, so this is the easiest way to create do a form layout. So let's say since it's an employee registration, I'll do like first name. You don't need scripting to do all this one. So to make some dynamics, you need scripting, but right now I'll just show you configuration part. So you click that first name, you click add. So first name is added. Next, you should click last name and that. So you can change the type as well. So you have different types. First name, last name. I'll create employee ID. So I'll try to make string for this one. Integer, sorry. So you have different types. Just go through all the different types, what it does. Right now I'll just show you like string and integer. So this is an integer. I'll add. Then I'll say password. So password, you even have a type for password as well, which makes you like, which encrypts all your password. So password, what else you have? Email ID. Which is again a string. Okay. So now we'll use one of these fields as well. I'll say created by. These are like available fields. So I've done my form layout. I'll do a save. Right. So now your employee registration has like first name, last name. So you can put anything. Employee ID 123. I'll say 123. Password something. Employee ID, email ID something. Create. If I click submit, so now a record is saved. Right. So if I go into the table again, or list, I'll go into list view. So a new record is created. So we can personalize this one as well. So you go into gear. So these are all the fields we created. You can even personalize your list. So this is your list, just like how you have for your incident. So this is your form. This is your So before we did like how to filter and everything. So this is how the filter thing, what this personalized list is. There is now you have like number, caller, project name, and category, right? So if you want to shuffle these columns as well, you can use that. So it will tell you, see, first is number, next is caller ID, right? So this is the order it has. So this is all the available field in that table. You can either you can move up and down if you want to have project name first. This is like how you personalize your list view. So now if you click OK, you'll have project name first, number second, active, true. See. So this is personalizing your form. This is like personalizing your list, sorry. And this is, so now you don't see anything. So now you go here, you personalize your list as well. So if you want first name first, you can just do that. And then your last name second. And if you want your employee ID, if by mistake, if you click that, and if you want this up, you can just do like that. So employee ID, password, and created by. And if you click OK, so your list is personalized. So next, if you want to create a new employee, you just do the same. But this doesn't look good. So if you look at this form, this is a form, but it doesn't look good. Apart from when compared with this one, right? So all you did is created field with this one, but it's like too long. So if you see this one, so they have split like, into half, two fields, and then they did all this stuff. So we'll try to do that now. For this, so since you created the field, same again, you go into your configure, you do form layout. So this is called begin split, right? So what it does is it will split your field. So begin split is, you can give it at the top. So from here it will start. And if you click split, where do you want to split? Let's say we'll do 3 by 3. So if you want first name, last name, employee ID and password one side, and email ID and created by one side, you don't have to, you can either give and split if you have like too many. So what it will do is, one side, left hand side will give first name, last name, employee ID and password, and the other side it will give this too. So if you save, so this is how it splits your form. And then if you want to add some related lists like that, like notes section, related, you can even, so these are sections. You can even create sections. So right now we created basic information. Next we'll create sections. So this is basically how you create a form. Now we'll create sections. Same, go to form layout. So these are like the basic fields. So this is your, whatever the table name or the form name is, this will be your basic section. You can create a new section. So let's say company info, I would say. We'll add a new section. So if you go into that new, section, it doesn't have any field. We can now create a field saying that company. So this is like basic configuration. Then you can create another field. Okay, you can do even like what else you have, like location. I've created few fields, so say company, and if I want to split, I'll split here. And then if I do save, a new section will be created on my form. Right? So a new section is created with company information. And then if I want another new section, so you go into the same form layout again. You can see all your sections over here. So now you have your employee registration, which is like your basic section. You can do even change whatever you want. This is your second section. And you can create another section. I'll just say XYZ. And then you can create a number of fields in it. This is how you design your form. Like this is all like front end. And you can do again, split somewhere. It's all like look and feel for your application. And if you do save, right? So you created one section and then another section. Right. So you never see any mandatory, as I told you before, right? So let's say I'll try to make first name and last name should be mandatory, because so if you want to change anything on this field, right? So what you will do is you click on this form, right click on that, configure dictionary. So dictionary is basically like, all your list of variables. You can either do like this, or you can go into your to configure dictionary. So dictionary is something like which holds all your properties of your fields. It will have like all the, if I click dictionary, right? So I'll see all the fields which I created. It has only column name. I'll just personalize saying that column label. I need column label. Okay, so this is all I created. So there's your first name, last name, and everything. So if I want to change anything on this one, right, so I can go either so I can either do a right click, do a configure. You can even change the label name. So label name is basically this thing, like first name is your label name. So either I can change going into configure all the dictionaries. So if you go here, you'll see all, but if you want to change on a particular field, just right click on here to configure dictionary. So it will give you all the properties. I don't know why that box is coming up, but it will give you all the properties of that variable. So first name, right? So you can make it read only. So I'll try to make it like mandatory, since that would be like a mandatory. Even give a default value. So every time you open, it defaults a value. You can even do that. You can even change the length of that. So this is where all the properties of this variable holds. Just do an update. So now it will turn into required field. See, since I changed the length, it made the box very big. You don't need that big. So what I'll do is I'll again go to configure dictionary. First name can be like, you can even restrict the limit. So if you want first name to be only like, 15 characters, just put 15 or 20, whatever. If you make it only read only, you can't edit that. I'll do that. So you can't edit because you made this field read only. If you want to change that, do again configure dictionary. Right, you can change the read only. Do an update. Right. So this looks similar to that, but you can even, so these are like out of the box fields. Activity, what it does is, so this is an activity field. You don't create this one, you just add the out of the box field like ServiceNow already created, because there are a lot of scripts running behind this one. So you just add this field. So what it does is, it will give you like whatever changes you do, it will record everything. So assign to whatever change you do and whatever, all the updates of that form. So even we can add this one. So we can add even notes. Just do the same thing. You go into configure, you do form layout. You add a new section saying notes. Then say okay. If you go into this section, there is nothing there. So these are like out of the box. Since I didn't extend the task table, I don't think I'll have the activities. But created, updated by closed, active, and all that we can't see because I didn't extend the table. But I can add this activity field. So if I go into notes, it doesn't have anything. What happened? Right. So before I didn't have anything. Now it will give the activity, it says changed and everything. All the basic information like whatever you do. So it's basically like recording the history of this form. So if I change again, I do that, and if I save it, right? So it records the history saying like, before I changed the first name, now I changed the last name, which is this one. So it's just this activity field is an out of the box field. It just records the history of your form. So all this information. So this is basically how you configure. So this is how out of the box ServiceNow did. So okay, I'll show you one more thing. So these are, I only showed you like string and integer type. I don't think you can. Yeah, you can't save a string and integer type. So there's another type which I want to show you is a reference field. So now you're putting in the value. You can even refer a field to a table, which is like, I'll show you what that is. So I'll create a okay. So here first name, I made it string, right? So what I'll do is I'll put a reference type. So it will ask me where do you want to refer? So which table you want to refer? So since this is first name, I'll refer it to our user table. So which is sys underscore user. So this is our user table. So I'll refer that. And if I do add, then save. I'm still string. Okay, if I do reference specification, which table you want. So our table is this user. Okay. If I do an update, what did it exist? Okay. It's saying I can't change. And say and create another field manager. Then I'll give you reference, which is our user. Right? So first name, last name, and manager. So if you see this, whenever you see this, it's always a reference variable which refers to a different table. So if I do that, so and there is another small icon button. So what it will do is if you click that, it will take you to that table, like particular user. And if you click that, it will take you to that. Since I didn't save anything, it's asking me to put some values here because you can't go forward. It takes me to that particular user. So that's like a reference icon. It's very handy if you want to, go to a different form. I want to see about him, then do that. So whenever you see this search thing, it's a lookup list. So it's always referencing to a table. And this is like it will take you to the record. So if you see your incident table, so this is your reference. So all these are like reference fields. So this is like a calendar field. So by this one, you can tell what type of field this is. So this is your calendar field. This is your reference field. So this is a suggestion field. I'll tell you later. But these three are like very important. String. So this is how you refer to a different table, like one field to a different table. So if you want, you can create your own table. You can refer your own table as well here, like a particular field, you can refer to your own table, whatever you want. So this is basically how you configure your form, you design your form, you add sections. There's a lot more, but I've just shown you like, basic information like how you design a form. So we design from zero to, all this stuff. So when you're practicing, try to create another form like this. Try to practice like, all this configure. So go into configure and go into form layout. Try to create a table like this, any table you want. Go to that table. Try to add all this in your form. So you can even go, if you go into list view, you can see how many records we created. So for that, you click the table name and you put the table name on dot list. So these many records we have created, just like this incident. Incident dot list. So this is where you personalize, this is where you search, this is where you filter. You can even filter in whatever fields you created. So let's say first name, right? First name starts with, or if I put my name, it will show only whatever I created, my name. So that's basically your table. And then personalizing, create forms and create fields. There's one more thing I wanted to show. So even you can add like related lists, which is like, I'll tell you. So these are all the sections. So there is a difference between related list and your sections. It looks same, but so these are the sections, like these fields are in this table. If you want to refer another table over here, right? So this is how you add like a related list, which is, so if you go to, so this is the form layout where you design all your forms. So if you go into related list, so since we didn't create any related list and it's not extending task, it doesn't have much, but I'll just add these three. I'll show you what it is. So these are like attachments table, audit history table, audit records table. So you can even add tables to your form. Okay. So yeah. So these are like a different table. This is a different table. So you can add tables to your form. That's how. So these are sections. Don't get confused with your sections and related lists. So sections is basically you create these fields in this table, employee registration table. But these attachments, audio history and audio records, they are like different tables. So you, even like, you can create your own table. You can make a related list and put it here. So there's always a link for this one. So that is like an advanced topic. I'll tell you why you need related lists over here and everything. So this is how you attach your related list. Just go into configure related list. If you see in the incident table, you can even so these are all your sections. So it has only one related list, but you can add a couple of related lists as well. So there is one task SLA related list. So these are all the related lists incident table has. You can create all these relations as well. So I'll just ask few. I'll just add few related lists. So these are all like different tables. Okay, so these are all your related lists, and these are your sections. Related list is basically a new table, a different table that you want to add to your form. Sections is basically you create like, so instead of making like, a big form, like, a form with 100 variables on the same, so you split it in sections, like, that's how you differentiate your form to make it clean and neat. So all the basic information you will put it on the top, and then like, sub-related, like, we created employee table. So all the basic information we'll put on the top section, and all the other information just like, if you see your user table as well. Just user.do if you want to go into the form. This doesn't have sections. Basically in, I'll show you in Signa, even, okay, but you got the point, right? So instead of, making this whole form into a huge thing, we just divide that related fields into this and make it a section. This is just like look and feel to look good. Instead of showing like 100 fields on the same form, you just create the purpose of why you create sections is to just for the look and feel. You don't want to show your user or customer the whole page with like, hundreds of fields. So that's why you create sections and you put that related fields into those sections. Like let's say company information, you put all your company information, manager information, or your project information, whatever. So this is how you create your form, related sections and related lists. Yeah. And then you can even personalize your list as well. So this is like personalizing list layout. So how you do that is you go into your related list, you right click over here, configure, list layout, list control and list calculation. So this is what you're personalizing a list layout. Only a list. This I'll tell you later, it's not like very important. You can even filter in your related list. It's basically like similarly to a different table. So you can even filter your table. You can personalize your table. You personalize your list. You can create new records in that. If you click new, it will take you to this is an attachment. I feel it shows like that, but this is your audit history. Right, and if you do submit, if you go into your registration list. So try to get used to this ServiceNow architecture. You should know, like, where it takes you and what is this form and everything. So since we created an audit records, this is how you show. It's just like related list of records you want to attach to your form. So that's it. So tomorrow I'll tell you, this is very, very important concept, import sets. I'll just give you a brief introduction. Just give me a second, I'll get my charts. Okay. Hello?
Yeah.
You guys are there, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is also very easy, like, users, groups and roles have told you, which is like very easy how to create users. And personalizing, create forms and fields is also easy. This you don't have to worry about. You don't come across much. But this is like very important concept. You use very important thing, like, it is basically like, what your company needs. Creating forms and fields is not that important. It's just like, I just wanted to get you in touch with tool. But this is like an important concept, import set. So basically what it does is, so like you want to get like huge amount of data from some external application to your service now. Like, let's say, like, since every organization, they don't create like users, every user they don't create. If let's say if a company is, if a company wants to use ServiceNow and they're like new to the ServiceNow and they have like, 100,000 users, like 1 lakh users. So they don't go into, someone don't go into ServiceNow and they don't put each and every user and they do submit. So what they do is, they pull the whole data from whichever, let's say they are using some external database like Oracle. In Oracle, they have like, or basically every company have their information in Active Directory. Anyone has idea about Active Directory, what it is? What does it do? Yeah, so Active Directory is nothing but, if you try to research it. So Active Directory is nothing but like your telephone directory, right? So it has all the information about like, all the user information. So so basically when you try to log into your system, you save your credentials in your local system. Just say like, so this is your user. Basically, this is your user. So you have your credentials in your local system, but in every organization, they don't do in that way. So they save all this user information in a central server, like central database or central whatever you call. So that is like Active Directory. So you can use your username password from everywhere. So it saves all the user information. It saves in an Active Directory. So what basically they will do is it depends. So some companies maintain Active Directory, some companies have their user information in a database. So now you are moving, you're going to ServiceNow. So now your ServiceNow needs like that 100,000 users into your ServiceNow. So no one goes and put the user info they won't come in and they won't enter like each and every user in the service now. Instead, what they use is they import the data from Active Directory or from external database or whatever external application it is. Even some companies may have like in an Excel file. So like 100,000 users, like bunch of users, and you want to import that data. So there is a process, like there is a what do you call? There is a process to import the data into ServiceNow. So tomorrow I'll tell you about that, which is called import sets. This is the import sets. I'll just give you a brief introduction about it as well. Okay, so this is your import set. So you need to know about this thing. So this is your external data source, and this is your ServiceNow table, which is your sys user table, incident table, whatever groups or location. It's not only about users, it's about any data you want. Like let's say your company has like, all their project information. Let's say they have like, all the project information or all their information in an external database, let's say JDBC and everything. Like all the tickets, let's say before the company was used to store all the tickets, incidents, everything in an Excel or in an external database. So now your company thought of going with ServiceNow and you want all those historical data, like whatever data they have like from last 10 years, they want it in ServiceNow because you want all your incidents or tickets to be in ServiceNow. So they do this, they import all the data into ServiceNow. So this is the architecture of how they import it. So this is the external data source, which is your JDBC, Oracle, anything. Through an Excel you can do, even XML, leave about this. But most of the time they'll have either in Excel or in a different database. So this is, so files. So what type of files they will have? Either they will have like XML, I'll just show you. So what they'll do is they will import, I'll just give you like high level like what they do. So from external data source, they will load all the data into a temporary table. And then from that temporary table, so this temporary table will be in your service now. So first of all, what they do is they load all that from Excel or external database. They load all that data into a temporary table, and that from that temporary, you load it into your whichever tables you want, either user table, incident table, groups table, whatever table you want, like location table, whatever table you want, you can do that. This is like very important because you may have to do this on a regular basis if your company needs, like if your company like is going with ServiceNow, like they're like new to the ServiceNow, so they will have like loads of data. You have to import this, and this is like very important concept. So I'll tell you like clearly how do you load data into your ServiceNow. So this is like the architecture. So I'll just give you a brief introduction. I'll just show you in the tool as well. You guys can practice it. So import sets, go to, okay. First we have to create a data source. So like you have to create a source, like how you know, how you are getting the data in. Is it through file, or is it through an Excel, CSV, or is it through a database, or is it through an Active Directory? So if you go to data sources, okay, if you go to data sources, so you have to create a data source. I'll repeat this tomorrow again. I'm just giving you like high level. So right, so the type is file, JDBC, LDAP. Even LDAP is a protocol, which is like lightweight directory access protocol. So LDAP basically you get it from Active Directory. If you want to get your information, like user information from Active Directory, this is the type you use. If it's any database like Oracle, MySQL, NoSQL, whatever database, you use the data source, which is JDBC. You might have known about JDBC. So if it's like through Excel, CSV or something, you use type file. So there are three types you can import the data, either using file or the external application, which is like, you know, any database, JDBC, LDAP. If you want to get it from any external application, like, you know, there are some other, let's say you have another ticketing application. Before Remedy, I don't know about you guys have heard about, but Remedy is like literally a service, like a ServiceNow tool. So it also have all those tickets. So if you want to get all the Remedy tickets into your ServiceNow, so you do integration. I'll tell you that is like more advanced. Like you can integrate external applications to your ServiceNow as well. You can even integrate your Microsoft Outlook. You can integrate, like as I said, Remedy as an external application. So even you can even integrate your ServiceNow with Salesforce. So you can integrate with a lot of tools, external tools also. So you can directly get the data from that. But this is basically getting from a file, from a different database, or if it's Active Directory, you use this LDAP. LDAP is nothing but a different protocol, lightweight directory access protocol. So first you create a data source. So here you have to name, and then this import set table. If you see this thing, import set table. So this is your temporary table. So temporary table, you can define your own name. If you give a label, it will give the table name as well. Let's say temporary table will do. Temp table. It like you either you get it from, if you have like Excel, you give file. If it's a different database, you give database. If it's through an Active Directory, you select file. Format is like Excel. If you select Excel, it will ask you the sheet number. I'll tell you tomorrow on this one. So this is how you create a database. You attach, if it's a file, you attach a file. So file retrieval method is attachment. And then you attach. You'll attach your Excel file, whatever you have. Then you submit. So now we have created a data source. But this is like an important concept. I'll tell you tomorrow about, like, you know, how you load the data, how you can see the temporary data, what data it loaded, and if you're good with it, you can commit it so that it will permanently save into your target table. Target table can be anything. It can be your user table, it can be your group table, incident table, any table. So this is the way you import data from the external application, from a file, from different database. Okay. But for now, just practice configuring your forms and everything. Try to create a table, and then try to create a table, any table you want. Try to create a form which I have created, like employee registration form, or you can create your own table, like let's say login form, any form, and try to do some configurations. You'll get used to, like, how to configure your form. Even you can configure the out of the box created. So this is like your user table, out of the box user table. If you don't like this, the way most of the companies doesn't use, this is like out of the box. It's like a template, but most companies don't like this way. So what they do is they configure. So they configure this form. I'll show you my Sigma, C-I-G-N-A, Sigma Q. I think I have to use side. If it's SSO, like, I don't know, I've told you about SSO. Okay. So this user table, like, is out of the box, but if I go into my sys user, okay. So we have like 81,000 users. We never created all the users, so we always pull it. If you go to any one user, right? So this is like totally different. Business information, we created this section, business information. We created this job details and all the fields. We'll look at how different it is with the out-of-the-box user. So they just give you the template and then some backend scripts, but you have to configure a lot. So this is how we configure. So we configure administrative, business information, job details. So this is what you have to do. If your company is new, and if they want, like, so your business analyst, they will give you the requirement saying that, users, it should be in this way and this way. So you go in there, you do your, this is Eureka version, that's why it says personalized. So you go into form layout. It's taking time. Okay. So we created this section, business information, job details, address and all this, and we created all these fields. So that's how that's how you personalize your forms. So try to create 2 or 3 tables, try to personalize, so you'll get used to this stuff. So does anyone have any doubts, like any questions?
No, it's good.
Yeah. So yeah, get used to this form layout thing. And then, so this is mostly you do configuration part, if someone asks you to, move a field, take out a field on your form, add a new field on your form. So you go into your form layout and you do stuff. This is like basic configuration. So then after that, we'll go to the development part. This is mostly administration part. So if someone asks you, like, you're good in administration or development, so this is like all your admin part, like, creating users, roles, adding roles, removing roles, and then personalizing a form and all that. So this comes under mostly in your administration part. So ServiceNow administrators does all this stuff, all this basic stuff. And then I'll show you what service catalog is. How do you build reports in your ServiceNow? So whatever records, whatever data we have created, right? So if you want reporting on that, so that is also basically admin part. So this is your admin training, right? So creating gauges, creating home pages, which is like, so I'll show you in my, I think that closed mine. But so admin part is easy. Development part gets tricky because you need to code something. Admin part is basically you configure, so you don't have to write much code. So as I said, right, so creating your home pages, so you can create your home page. This is like, system, this is like system administration page. If you want to know about like, your system diagnostics, right? So if you go to this page, it will tell you all the information about your instance. So basically they call this as an instance. So this is your dev instance. They'll have like QA instance. So your dev instance runs under this URL. You don't have to worry about. So it will give you some basic information of like how much memory it has. If you are familiar with Java and all that, so you know about like PermGen, JVM classes, how many classes the service now has, all this one, how many it's loaded, how much memory it's using. So it's using 409 of, 2022 MB. This is like PermGen. If you know about like Java and how JVM, CPU time, all the, system properties, like ServiceNow system properties, system information. So ServiceNow uses MySQL database. So this is the database URL and some other, backend information, like the tool information. So only administrators can see this. So we create like this home pages. So this is also admin part. To build reports, gauges, and everything. Even email notifications, like how to send an email from ServiceNow, and if someone sends an email to the ServiceNow, how it should take, and how it should configure and everything. So this is basically your admin part. And if you go into like development part, so this would be your development. I think even this is also admin part. But if you go into development part, this is like very interesting. Like you write some code. So this is all JavaScript. So you have to know a little bit about JavaScript to write this code. I'll just show you some sample script. Yeah, okay, in any form. So if you go, so this is all like admin part, and so this is all scripts. So if you go into client scripts of this table, so you will be needing to write some code. It's still loading in this. Yeah, like that. So this is all your Java coding. To create a variable. So this is all like JavaScripting. So you have to know a little bit. So there won't be much code than this one. Mostly you will be writing like 20 to 30 lines of code, not more than that. But you have to have some understanding on coding, to do all this stuff. So the coding is like basically JavaScript. Like, even if you are like, you don't have to be advanced, mid-level JavaScripting. That would do. Any more questions? Or we can end this conversation. You good?